highly anticipated interview with the cast of Daredevil Born Again. Welcome.
Thank you.
Nice to be here. I think take two, this was take two. I think our take two was even better than take one. What do you think?
I think it's great. I think things are going well now.
I think they're going well. What makes this such a highly anticipated interview?
You said it.
Right.
Can't think of
I was
anything.
actually talking about the series. The reason for that. I mean, there's such diehard fans for this. Obviously, you've made a jump, a huge jump. We're seeing this on a new platform. How much of the original is going to be sort of the tone, the costumes, overall, be canon, stay the same, and how much is going to change?
Well, there's some things we can say and some things we can't.
Okay.
Right? So I would say the tone is going to be very similar, and I would say at times even deeper.
Wow, that was very concise. Charlie, would you like to add to that?
I have a new costume. You asked about costumes.
You
and
do?
It's on the internet. Don't look at me like that. Give me a heart attack. It's all over the internet. I have a new costume. It wasn't just me out on the town in the red suit. So that's very exciting.
I didn't see that in the notes. I'm just saying.
I'm going off book a little bit. Okay.
Feel free.
It's highly anticipated.
Yes.
The new costume is highly anticipated.
It is.
Vincent kind of said it really well. It is what we're trying to do with the show is tread a very careful line between playing the hits, getting the ingredients that we had that made the show work previously, but also not alienating a new audience, so that you don't have to remember everything that happened and all the characters that happened.
Okay.
All the characters from the previous show, so that we hopefully can attract a new audience and also welcome back our returning fans.
Well,
but tonally, from what we shot, we haven't seen much anything yet. But
you finished shooting.
We finished shooting.
Yes.
From what we shot, it feels like that we have honored the dark tone of the original show. And that's very exciting and important to us. I feel like it's one of the things that makes this character work so well. Certainly, it's what I believe why the character it works so well in the comics.
Yeah.
When they embrace that darker tone, and it's an exciting space on the Disney Plus platform.
Well, let's talk a little bit about that darker tone. There is always that one epic fight scene every season.
The one shot.
Yes, one shot. You mentioned that fans are going to be the big fight scene in this season. Fans are going to be replaying that scene over and over and over. So how violent are we going?
What did you mention?
I didn't mention anything specifically.
I didn't see that on the notes.
First of all, she's not exactly quoting my quote. Okay, she's like playing with it a little bit. Okay. So.
I wouldn't want to quote you directly. I would never do such a thing.
I think that there's a scene in the movie where you fight.
I do fight.
Extremely cool.
Yeah.
And it's going to be exciting.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
Now that we're on Disney, are we going to go as violent?
There are some things in this show that we go much further with than we
Really?
did on the original show. Yeah. There's one thing in particular that my character does.
Yep.
Yeah, that I can't believe made it into the cut.
Which was what?
But it did. It's highly anticipated.
It's hard. We'll wait for it. This relationship between Punisher and Daredevil, frenemies, set up this season for me and sort of that dynamic between the two of them.
I hate having you behind me.
Why, man?
I feel like you could make faces.
You feel like what?
You could make faces.
No, I would never, man.
He's been doing it all along, by the way.
Zero chance. Zero chance. It's complicated, between them. It always has been. I think there's a lot they admire about each other, and there's a lot that, it's a lot like looking in the mirror and hating what you see too. You know what I mean?
Wow. I just got a well said from the audience when you just said that. But yeah. So
it's
does that?
Sweet.
It is. It's sweet, isn't it?
It's very sweet, their relationship.
Yeah. So anything you can give me about this season and sort of that dynamic and how it will evolve over the season?
I think that's a complicated one to answer without giving too much away. So I feel like Jon said that perfectly. That dynamic, both in the comics but also hopefully in our show, is one of the most interesting, nuanced dynamics within the superhero world. And it's so fun to play with. It's so fun to have something in common with someone and at the same time admire them, but also be appalled by certain choices and things like that. And,
There's some, if I may, there's some scenes in our episodes of this season coming out that breach that kind of superhero world. Like our show is very grounded, right? So it leaves us the opportunity to be able to do straight up drama. That's not enhanced. There's nothing magical about it, or there's no spaceships. We can do drama, and there's a particular thing that goes on between the two of them. It's a well-written scene. That is just pure drama in its highest form, as far as I'm concerned. The two of them in it they're super interesting characters. What they bring to it as actors is amazing, and the text is just wonderful to watch.
Where do we pick up with Foggy and Karen at the beginning of the season? I'm sure you can tell me about the beginning of the season and the dynamic with Daredevil at the beginning of the season.
I honestly don't know how to answer that question.
It's really hard, isn't it? It's like doing somersaults. I mean, I think, we've been talking about how like the history as it stands from the previous show is still there, right?
Yeah.
So we just pick up with these people at a new point in their lives. Some things have changed, some things are the same. They've all grown, for better and worse. And I think I'll say on a personal level, it was extraordinary to get to like walk down a New York City street with these guys again and feel that again.
Yeah. I remember the first day I walked into the trailer and you were there already.
Yeah.
You smiled and gave me a big hug, and I was like, I'm home.
It really does feel that way, yeah.
Yeah, it was great.
And like our last night, I think we were up shooting, like we walked back from the restaurant together and just caught up on like life and kids and all that, like also very important stuff. So
So for all of you, obviously you're very bonded as a cast. You've had a couple of years, sort of that moment of coming back together and digging into these characters in this world again. Maybe Jon, you can talk about that a little bit.
About coming back?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure, man. I mean, in my iteration of getting to play Frank, which I'm so grateful I get to do. I care about him a ton. The things that I'm most proud of happened always in the Daredevil show. Those are I'm such an enormous fan of these guys and watching what they did in those in that first season and seeing how the level of filmmaking, the level of performance, how much attention was paid to it, how far they were going, pushing boundaries. It was a thrill to come back, but an even bigger thrill to come back with them. I just feel real lucky.
Charlie and Vincent, do you want to add to that?
I was, as Jon was just saying that, and I was just thinking back to 2014, 2015 when we found out that he was going to be playing the Punisher in season 2, and like I got his number from I think my agent or something and sent him a text. And I mean, it's crazy that we started this thing 10 years ago, and we're about to come out with what they're calling a season 1.
Right.
Like we're like almost on a victory lap, but starting again from the beginning in a weird way. And it's been such an incredible journey that we've all been on. And I know that I can speak for all of us when I say how grateful we are that we got the opportunity to play these characters in this show. I think all of us will be dragged kicking and screaming from it when it eventually is taken from us.
We've seen you show up in a few other projects in the MCU. Any chance we're going to see some crossover of some of those characters coming into this show in this season?
There's a couple of small fun moments, of collision, but nothing major.
Of what?
Of collision.
Oh, collision.
Yeah, I don't know. I use that word when characters come together, but I don't want to oversell anything there and get people too excited. The real stuff is in this room. Right?
Just say no, Charlie. Just say no. No, nothing. Yeah. There's nothing exciting. Yeah.
I like that, the small moments. You're not over-promising anything.
There's a couple of fun small moments.
Yeah, you're not trying to over-deliver any false promises. And then maybe end with you, Vincent, sort of, as we round up, sort of.
Are we still on Jon, or are we on special small moments? Where are we at?
We're at.
Because when Jon came on the show,
yeah,
I was thrilled because I worked with Jon. I did a show once where I used to get a lot of I used to meet a lot of actors who would come in and out, and only a few of them would stand out. And Jon came in and did a scene, and it was quite. He was quite something, and I never forgot him. And so, to work with him again after all those years, I mean, he was just a kid, and he's a kid now, I guess, but he's a kid with kids, and it was a wonderful thing to have him come in and actually see this kind of actor that I met when he was young and who evolved into an even greater actor than he was when he was a kid. So it was really nice.
Do you have anything to say to that, Jon?
Do I have anything
Yeah.
to say?
Yeah.
I mean, you know.
If you want us, we can leave. That helps.
Look, it's. I can't believe that you remember that. You know, I can't believe that you remember that. But yeah, look, you know, okay, I do think that, you know, in this thing that we do, you know, I can speak for everybody involved here. We love it so much. We love these characters so much. We love doing this so much. It's very rare that you get to go do something that you really, really care about.
Yeah.
And, you know, along the way on a career like this, there's things that happen where you meet people who encourage you and welcome you and are about the work first and about each other first and about building first. And that's what this group is. And you know, that day to meet, you know, a hero of mine at a young age, and you know, for them to be so welcoming, that is the spirit. That's the spirit that each one of these people sort of brings. And again, I said it before in the other interview, I think what's paramount here is that each one of these people, beyond anything else, they really care about these fans. They really care about getting this right, not to further their own careers or not to, you know, win awards. It has nothing to do with that. I think these folks really, really have a sacred relationship with the fans, and it's what matters here. So again, I'm just super grateful to be in this group.